Anyway, we are live again. This is take 2. Tonight we're going to be talking about WWE Extreme Rules. If you have any predictions for Extreme Rules, please leave them in the comments below. And we'll see if your predictions are the same as mine or not. And sometimes they're not. And that's okay, because we all like different things. And we all like different wrestlers. So with that being said, let's get into it. First match is Rick Swann and Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox and the other dude, I don't remember. Mixed tag team match. I think Swann and Banks is gonna win that one. Who do you think is gonna win that one? Please leave it in the comments below. Please leave your predictions in the comments below. I'm actually interested in seeing what your predictions are for this one. It's actually going to be interesting, I think. I really do. I think it's going to be interesting. Just see what everybody's predictions are. I don't see any comments, but let's go on to the next match. In the Cruiserweight Championship. Neville versus Austin Aries. I think Aries is going to win that one. Who do you think's going to win that one? Please leave a comment in the please leave a prediction in the comments below. Like I said before, your predictions may be totally different than mine, and that is okay. That is okay. We don't need to have the same predictions. That would be kind of weird. Next match. Next match is stick pole match. Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. This one's actually interesting because I have never heard of this one. I have never heard of a kendo stick on a pole. Never heard of it. Never heard of that match. But I think Bayley's gonna win. Gonna win this one. Next match is the next match is 6-man tag match. I don't remember who the Hardy Boys are teaming with, but I know that I think it's Dean Ambrose and the Hardy Boys versus The Miz and The Miz and Cesaro and Sheamus. I could be wrong about that one, but I'm going to say Hardy Boys and Dean Ambrose. Of course, I know a friend of mine wants the Hardy Boys to win. And finally, there's the Fatal 5-Way match. Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt versus Samoa Joe. And on this one, I'm actually kind of torn between three of them. Samoa Joe. I'm sorry, that's not. I'm actually torn between Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor. Those are actually the only three that I'm that I'm torn between. As long as Samoa Joe or Bray Wyatt doesn't get the Universal title, I'll be happy. But anyway, I think Extreme Rules is going to be a good pay-per-view. I actually really do. Last year's Extreme Rules was good. But anyway, moving on to the next topic. One rivalry that's going around in backyard wrestling today is actually King Dominator versus the Wolf. And the Wolf actually crossed the line. Remember what I said? Don't slander, bring up family members or personal matters. That's what the Wolf just did. As far as B why as far as BITC is concerned, we're not having it this year. I talked to Evan Starr today about that, but we are not having it this year. A friend of mine told me that TNA is on TV. It's still on TV. I thought it actually ended because I can't find it. One of the best indie wrestlers to date, I think one of the best indie wrestlers to date is probably going to be my bro, Zach Zarek. Now, like I said, all wrestlers have their ups and downs. I mean, all kidding aside, wrestling is kind of like a fairy tale. Almost, you've got your villain. You've got your villains, which are called heels, and then you've got the heroes, which are called faces. Now, the difference between the two is that if you cheer for a face, he's doing his job correctly. If you boo a heel, then they're doing their jobs correctly. Heels actually crave the negative attention. It's that simple. And sometimes it doesn't work out that way. My friend Zach is a heel. And yet he's getting cheered for. And yet he's getting cheered. So apparently my friend Zack Zarek is not a very good heel. He's not doing his job right. He's more like a tweener. He's more like a tweener than a heel. Now the Koger brothers. Those guys are downright brutal. They are heel. They are mega heels. Remember the OTW days when the dreaded White family came to? Yeah. The White family was actually was actually a family of butchers. Believe it or not, that explains the blood on their shirts. Uh, in OTW, though, the White family reigns supreme. And they were one heck of a tag team. But when OTW ended, Atticus Koger started indie wrestling, and he and his brother formed the Koger brothers. And there are a lot of indie wrestlers out there. Brad Kevins, Myron brother Reed, Mickey Muscles, Zach Zarek, Cameron Willington is a indie wrestler. Kyan Smith is another one. I'm not so sure about Ben Morris, though. Ben Morris. Yeah, I think Ben wrestles. I think James Kyle wrestles. Um, 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 but anyway, on to the next topic. Has anybody noticed? Has anybody noticed any rivalries lately? There's a lot of them. One, like I said, was Wolf versus King Dominator. The other one is King Dominator versus Aiden Roman, and the other one is Keith versus Joe Razor. And sorry for the awkward silence, guys. I'm just so tired. Uh, um, but shout out to my friend Zach Zarek and everybody that does indie wrestling. I'm pretty sure that they're very talented wrestlers. Shout out to you know, shout out to EBW and Gavin Styles. They may not be indie wrestling, but they're wrestling. They have a ring, so they're wrestling. Speaking of Gavin Styles, Gavin Styles is in the second round of the UBW tournament. I think I mentioned that already. It's gonna the second round is gonna be Gavin Styles versus Skull and B Dog versus. No, it's gonna be Venom versus Skull and Gavin Styles versus B Dog. Never mind. Never mind. Still nothing. But there's a lot of there's a lot of there's a whole lot of wrestling topics out there that I could go on and on about. What about McFol? This is something that really pissed me off, and I actually stopped watching Raw because of it. What about McFoley getting fired? What about McFoley getting fired? Explain that one. Explain that one to me. Um, that I don't get. McFoley was an awesome GM. And Stephanie McMahon decides to fire him? Is she off her fucking rocker? If I were to say so myself, I don't think Stephanie McMahon knows how to run a damn business. because you don't fire somebody because they decide to defend themselves. Good GMs defend themselves. They don't stoop down to the level of dick COOs. Now, Bryan and Shane McMahon. That's a really good. Duo. Now, I can assure you that Daniel Bryan. Now that they don't get along, but that one doesn't fire the other because of a disagreement. One doesn't fire the other because, oh, they're not on the same page. You don't have to be on the same page. What you do is you work it out between you. You talk it out, and then you come up with a solution between the two. You come up with a solution, and then that is what you do. And a lot of COOs and a lot of stuff like that, of wrestling COOs, they don't get how to do that. So here's another thing that Gavin mentioned, that this is Gavin's greatest pet peeve in wrestling. When the wrestlers don't want to meet the fans. Last time I checked, the fans were the vocal point in wrestling. When the fans are entertained, they boo and cheer. That's one thing most people don't get. There's a friend of mine that used to be a part of FNW, but FNW is not there anymore. FNW stopped. My friend A Shack says that he would love to come to the United States. Shout out to A Shack, by the way, aka Suplex Network. But FNW was actually a good company when they were around. And they did some awesome matches. And I don't know how many times Ace changed names. The first name he had was 8 Ball. The second name he had was Oscar Owens. And then he changed his name again to Ace Shack. But anyway, I wish there was indie wrestling in Australia. Actually, there is an indie wrestling company in Australia. I think Hayes is a part of it. I think there's an indie wrestling company in the United Kingdom as well. I think there's actually like two in the United Kingdom. I'm not necessarily sure. Yeah, there's Preston City Wrestling. They're professional. PCW. There's I don't remember which one Cayenne wrestles for, or Cam or in Wellington. I don't know. There's PW in the United States. There's PWG, ROG, and but anyway, if you're an indie wrestler, what company do you wrestle for? Please leave it in the comments below. Um, but anyway, I guess that'll do it for me tonight, and I will see you Thursday because I'm about to fall asleep. But anyway, I'll have a new guest Thursday, so join me for that. I will see you guys next time.